You are a very busy CEO. You are running one of the hottest startups right now. How many hours per night do you get on average?
So, it's funny. Since I was a baby, I always needed a lot of sleep. So I wish I could get like 8 to 9 hours of sleep. I would say I feel lucky if I get 7. But it's funny just how big a difference sleep makes to my life. And we always talk about how sleep is just so universal because we obviously all need to sleep, and yet everyone has such a individualized relationship with sleep. And so it's always interesting to talk like, some of my co-founders need 4 or 5 hours of sleep. I'm always someone that needs a lot of sleep. I just don't get enough of it.
So on average, how much?
I'd say 7.
Okay.
7's a good average.
That's pretty good. So I met Philip on another panel about innovation and disruption and how you guys have totally removed the retailer from the equation. But now you guys are actually opening up retail concept stores. So can you tell me a little bit more about that and how it kind of fits into your business model?
Sure. So we've never been anti-retail. We were more just anti-mattress retail. The mattress store is kind of one of the worst consumer shopping experiences in existence. It's one where you're greeted by a commissioned salesperson. You walk in your street clothes and you're asked to lay down under these awkward fluorescent lights and expected to make a decision.
You don't like that?
Yeah, it's fun. It's what we do on the weekends. So we were always just anti the traditional mattress store experience. And we know this is a product category that people like to touch and feel the product. And while we've done a good job of convincing people to buy online through our website, and we have a 100-night trial to help people kind of get comfortable with trying it, we knew that touching and feeling the product was an important part of the experience and always something we wanted to go after in a meaningful way. And even since the beginning at Casper, we did things like mobile nap tours, we did experiential marketing events at festivals and at different events so that people could lay on the product, touch it, feel it, and get convinced that it really was an amazing product. And so we're starting to lean into that area more. And so we did announce that we're going to be doing 15 pop-ups across the country starting in Q4 of this year. And that's kind of the most at scale thing we've ever done offline. But we're excited to continue to evolve the business to go from kind of a digital first or digitally primarily business to a much more omni-channel business.
So kind of going off of that, when you first launched, you called yourself the Warby Parker of mattresses. Now I see you guys kind of more marketing as the Nike of sleep. So what happened there?
I think direct to consumer was what we were focused on, meaning that we control the experience, we control the relationship, and in that one-to-one relationship with customers, I think is really valuable. And so I think companies like Warby Parker have done a really good job of developing that one-to-one relationship. Whether that happens online or in their stores, they continue to really build that direct business. And the reason why I like the analogy like Nike for sleep is because Nike is just a ubiquitous presence. It's a brand that's known for greatness. And we talk about sleep becoming kind of the third pillar of wellness. And we think that great brands can help accelerate different consumer movements. And we talk about how 30 years ago, being physically active and exercise was a new trend, was becoming kind of what we call the first pillar of wellness. And brands like Nike, and since then brands like Under Armour, have really helped catalyze that movement and really helped consumers made sure they were prioritizing active lifestyle. We think the second pillar of wellness really came with healthy eating. And brands like Whole Foods have done a really good job of making sure consumers think about the quality of their food, the source of their food, et cetera. We think sleep is becoming this third pillar of wellness, and we want to be the brand that's top of mind for consumers when they think about getting a better night of sleep. And we think that's in the very beginning days of kind of a secular trend for consumers, that they prioritize active lifestyle, healthy eating, and sleep in their life in order to feel better and live a well-balanced life. And so with Casper, we aspire to really lead that charge. And so we think Nike's a classic, iconic global brand, and we aspire to be a classic, iconic global brand, just in a different part of the consumer ecosystem.
Got it. And you guys have been very successful in terms of social media and kind of these unboxing videos on YouTube that have taken off, and they've become kind of like a social media sensation. So was that something that happened organically, or did that come from a push from internally?
That's one where it's better to be lucky than smart, I guess. Like we never had any idea that people would be sharing the unboxing experience as much as they did, but we did care a lot about every detail of the customer journey. So we were the first company that really branded the unboxing experience. We included gifts with boxing within the boxes for our early customers with a handwritten note from the founders. And we really just made sure that every part of the journey, from when you first discover us, whether that's through social media or hearing about us from a friend, through shopping us on our website or our mobile site, all the way through transaction, delivery, and trying the product, was just as an amazing experience as possible, and tried to just surprise and delight customers throughout that journey. And part of that was the unboxing experience and taking care to put in the tool that you need to unbox it, and just making that as fun as possible. And then I think because of that, and because of that extra level of detail, people were blown away by it. They were surprised, and they filmed it, they posted it online, and that viral sharing is a big reason why we grew as quickly as we did.
Got it. And so in terms of marketing, you guys have done some pretty interesting things. There was a cruise around Manhattan. There was this like hotline that you could call if you couldn't fall asleep. There was the Napmobiles, right? So I understand that Casper has an $80 million annual marketing budget. So can you just kind of break that down for me and explain how you're using it to reach new customers that maybe have no idea what Casper is?
Yeah, so we haven't talked about our marketing budget. I think that was reported, but it wasn't from us. But specifically, like we always kind of like poking fun at the traditional industry. So when we were very young, we had some customers that had transacted with us in the very beginning, and we wanted to thank them. And so I think we did it around Labor Day, and we did our Labor Day sale, SAIL, in order to kind of show that the industry always does so many gimmicks around sales and holiday weekends, and so that was our way to...
Can you explain it a little bit?
Yeah, so we invited some of our customers and some potential customers to join us on a sunset cruise around Manhattan that was our Labor Day sale, SAIL, and because it was a big sailboat, and it was just a fun way to kind of be tongue-in-cheek with the industry, which fortunately it's an industry that's very easy to make fun of, and that was just one example of how we were able to do that. And so we've always taken, I think, like a bit of a non-traditional approach on the marketing. We've always tried to have fun with it, and we know that something like 10% of the US population might be in market for a mattress at any given time, which means the other 90% generally doesn't care about a mattress ad. And so our view was, all we're trying to do is build awareness and build an affinity with consumers, and hopefully have them remember us whenever the time comes that they might be in market. And so the best thing we could do is have them see an ad and smile and just walk away and be like, oh, that was clever or funny or cheeky or whatever it may be. And so we always took kind of a non-traditional approach to our marketing. And I think it's worked. A lot of people tell us, oh, I saw you on the Subway ads, and the Subway ads are really funny, and we've done things on the experiential side that were certainly not traditional or obvious. And I think it's just kind of core to the Casper personality, and it's something that I think exudes the brand in a really great way. And that kind of connection with consumers around the brand is super important for what we're doing. But
there's a very fine line between great marketing and kind of gimmicky. So how do you make sure that you're on the right side of that?
Yeah, it definitely is a fine line, and we just think about everything. I mean, we have a million ideas, so we only move forward with the ones that we think don't kind of cross over. And sometimes things work great, and sometimes things don't hit quite like we like. And
what's an example of one that didn't quite cut it?
I think the mattress hotline was hilarious, but people didn't like connect the dots that it was Casper, and it was just a funny way to kind of connect sleep and insomnia. And Casper, we kind of stayed in the background around it, so a lot of people don't know that we did that campaign. And it was just, again, a fun way to kind of interact with customers, and our customers might have been more perceptive to knowing that it was kind of us just having fun with the category versus people that don't know about Casper. But it's always an experimentation around just trying different things, and some hit really well, and some don't get noticed too much. We actually did something around the eclipse where we hosted people in Casper, Wyoming, and that was again a fun one, but it wasn't one that kind of went far and wide as far as knowing that Casper did it. But it was a great way to kind of reward some customers around a trip to Casper, Wyoming, see the eclipse in a city that had it at 100%, and was just a fun tie-in. So we're always trying and experimenting and learning.
Yeah, no, definitely. All of the marketing things are everywhere. So obviously Casper has been really successful, and as of December of 2016, it's been reported that Casper generated about 200 million in sales. So obviously you've been spending a lot of capital on things that we just talked about. But I read one of your investors said, everybody has to make the trade-off between growth and profitability. In Casper's case, it makes sense to invest dollars in building the brand, not just for generating sales in the near term, but over the longer haul to build a category-defining company. So my question is, at what point, does profit really become top of mind, number one priority for your company?
I think it's different stages given on the company specifically and kind of what your ambitions are. You have to keep in mind we're only a 3.5, not even 3.5-year-old company. We launched the business April of 2014, so we're still very young. We're going after very big markets, and the biggest challenge to our growth is awareness. People just don't know that there's a new, smarter way to buy a mattress. They're still used to buying a mattress how they bought their previous mattress. And they also don't think about sleep kind of as a category and think about the fact that pillows impact your sleep, sheets impact your sleep, and that there's an entire sleep ecosystem that you can optimize. And so just building awareness that there's a easier, better way to buy a mattress and that you should think about the entire sleep ecosystem as you prioritize sleep within your life is different. And so we consider ourselves to be very early in our company life cycle and our brand life cycle. And so we're going to continue to invest into building that and building awareness and helping people understand that there's a new paradigm for the category that we're trying to really define as a sleep category, which never really existed before, but we think is a really exciting opportunity.
Yeah. And earlier this year, a Target offered to buy Casper for $1 billion, but it fell apart. So it was reported that Casper turned it down. So why?
So we were just talking to Target, and we ultimately concluded that a minority investment from Target would make the most sense for us. And it goes back to exactly what I was just saying. We're very early in our company life cycle. We think we can build a very big business. We think we can build an iconic brand. And Target saw that and wanted to be a part of it. And we now have certain products like sheets and pillows in Target stores. We're going to continue to do more with Target. We're really excited about them as a partner. They have massive reach, 1,800 stores throughout the country. 30 million Americans go through their doors a week. And so we thought that reach was really exciting for us to put our brand and our products into more people's hands. And it's worked out phenomenally well. So it's been a great partnership, and we're excited to continue to build it.
Awesome. And even though Casper's so young, since you guys launched, more than 100 copycat brands have also popped up. So how do you guys fend off competitors?
Yeah, it's been fun to see like a new one, it seems, weekly. The good news is now we've kind of been stress tested from every different angle. We have our traditional incumbent brands, the Sealy's, the Mattress Firms of the world challenge us with products and websites that look very similar to ours, very derivative. And then we've had a bunch of startups try and compete with us. And the good news is that it hasn't really slowed us down, and it's really accelerated kind of the category. So before Casper started, low single-digit % of mattresses were ever bought online or bought directly from a brand. And today that's a much, much higher market because there's been a lot of education that there is a better, smarter way to buy a mattress. I think fortunately consumers have realized that most of those kind of copycats that followed us really didn't have an authentic point of view. They haven't invested into product quality and innovation, and that they were more just trying to kind of catch a wave. And so I think Casper's made sure to really stay true to the authenticity of the brand and the experience that we have with our consumers. We've tried to constantly elevate the products that we have in market, and we have an amazing product engineering group that we call Casper Labs based in San Francisco of around 50 industrial designers and engineers that are taking the feedback we get from our customers and constantly making the products better. And we've had a lot of validation around that. Casper was rated the #1 foam mattress on Consumer Reports, and you just continue to see the improvement and the investment in the products translate to better customer experiences. And we're also able to invest in things like white glove delivery and mattress removal and really complete the end-to-end experience for consumers so that it's super easy turnkey to get amazing products, and then a great night of sleep follows. And fortunately, our customers keep telling their friends and family about it. So it's been a really great dynamic that we're really proud of.
Yeah, and Casper's fascinating to me because it's almost cult-like. It's the brand loyalty is insane. So for people out there who are starting businesses, for other founders, how do you reach the elusive millennial?
So I mean, I think not specific to just Millennial, but I think it works in that category. Great brands have that sense of community around it, and they have that sense. I mean, Colt likes it. It's a huge compliment because it just means that there's really strong loyalty and affinity to the brand because we felt like we really invested in building that community, and it's something we want to continue to do. And I think Millennial shoppers included, but really all shoppers today want to have that connection with the brand. They want to understand, what is the product, where's the product coming from, what is the logic behind it, and they're seeking more than kind of just a one-off, buy something off the shelf because that's where it's located, and especially products that make a big difference in people's lives. We always talk about how buying our products are highly considered purchases because they make such a big impact, and so because of that consideration set and cycle, we always wanted to have that really deep sense of community and understanding that we are investing our hearts and minds into these products, and we're really proud of it. And it's why we featured our founders and the designers behind these products to really tap into that authenticity with our community. And I think great brands are able to do that. Even large brands that are growing quickly really create a great experience and build a great community around their products and services.
Got it. And I'll leave some time for questions. So if anybody has any, but something that I've noticed that Casper is doing is you guys have an entire content side to your website. Why would anybody want to read content from a mattress company?
Yeah, so it's another amazing area of just kind of the sleep category. It's that people love content around sleep, and it's because it's universal. We all need to sleep, but we all have a really personalized relationship with sleep. And so whether we have a content site called Van Winkle's reporting on things like PTSD and troops coming back and their relationship with sleep, to how certain drugs can impact your sleep. There's so much rich content around there, and people love it. And so for us, again, there's a small percentage of the population might be in market for our products at any given time, but that content is something that people love and can consume perpetually. And so we were very excited early on to make the investment in content, and we continue to produce a lot of great content around sleep from many different facets, and consumers have loved it. And so we're excited to continue our investment into content, and we think it's a great way to continue that connection with consumers, even when they might not be transacting with us.
So in Casper launched with just one product, and now it's expanded into all these other products, including bedding, sheets, dog beds, content. So what's kind of next on the product roadmap for you guys in 2018?
Yeah, so we just launched a new mattress, our second mattress, called the Wave. So we launched that a few weeks ago, and it's been selling amazingly well, and the feedback on it has been incredible. And it's actually a completely new design system for us, what we call like a natural geometry system that supports the body in an incredible way. And the idea is that mattresses, generally, if you open them up, are kind of flat, and yet the body has curves, and so we actually cut foams in different ways and infuse different materials to make it what we think is the most supportive, comfortable mattress on the market. So we're really proud of that product, and we're really just starting to kind of get the word out about that. And the feedback on the product that we've been able to ship has been amazing. So we're really excited about that one.
Got it. And are you looking at sleep tech and wearables, et cetera, in the future?
We're definitely interested in the category. We do think technology can come into the bedroom in a really interesting way. We think that there's a lot of potential there for sure.
Got it. And do you consider Casper a tech company?
I would say we would not have been able to scale as quickly as we have if tech wasn't core to what we do. We also wouldn't be able to tap into that kind of one-to-one relationship with customers that we seek to have if tech wasn't core to what we do. And I think great brands and businesses have to leverage technology across the entire business in order to create a great experience with consumers. So we definitely consider ourselves to be having tech as a core part of our DNA.
Awesome, great. Does anybody have any questions? I can't see. I don't think so.
It's nice early, so
yeah.
More coffee should help.
Right here.
Can you talk about innovation and maybe iteration in the e-commerce space in relation to all of these other marketing initiatives and things that you brought?
Sure. Within marketing, we're always testing. And the amazing thing is just how quickly the ecosystem moves. And so, the frustrating part is like once you figure out something that works, it means generally that other people are kind of figuring out that it works too. And so the life cycle on kind of any platform or any interesting angle where you're at the front of the curve only lasts so long. So it means the way we talk about it at Casper is you just always have to be investing and testing new things and always have to be willing to try something that's coming, because what worked yesterday won't necessarily work tomorrow, or most likely won't work tomorrow, just because of how quickly the marketing ecosystems evolve and people realize that there's efficiencies to be gained, and then those efficiencies are taken out when multiple marketers or brands try to go after it. So it's just a culture of kind of constantly testing, and also not having that fear of failure is a big one. Like we get used to kind of having wins in marketing, and so you don't want to be bold and try new things, and we can't let that kind of permeate the thinking. We just have to constantly push ourselves to think differently and try things outside the box.
Can you talk about an instance where something happened that was not in your plan, it was a failure, or experienced as a failure, how that was discussed with your management team and your financial backers and addressed?
One thing that we did early on was we really focused on kind of diversifying our supply chain, because supply chain was the biggest issue we had in the beginning. We could not get products out the door. At one point, we had customers waiting like 10 weeks for products, which was just unacceptable. And so we diversified our supply chain, and then overnight we woke up and private equity came in and kind of bought up all of our suppliers at once, and that was nothing we saw coming, nothing our backers saw coming. And so, there was no silver bullet to solve it, but we just talked about how we have to continue to kind of diversify our suppliers to make sure that we could ship product to our consumers, because if you can't do that, nothing else matters. And so for especially probably our first 18 months of existence, that was one of the biggest areas of focus and biggest pain points, because we just had customers every day like, I'm waiting, we need the product, and it was really frustrating.
In the back.
So you said that like 90% of marketing and 90% of everything aren't in the market. Obviously, it's big ticket item that you're talking about, sort of long-term brand building. How do you kind of square that? What is the biggest thing you think about that? Between like brand and direct response, especially if you have like a brand and probably everyone's rules familiar with that one. It's like subway ad, DR subway ads, podcast ads. What's that kind of strategy or marketing?
Yeah, so we've invested very early on in making sure that we have a really, I think, sophisticated data and analytics and attribution platform so that we could tie dollars back to purchases. And that's even when it's things that are a little bit tougher to tie back, like out of home, all the way through things where we can put in promo codes and everything in between. And we've always said that if we're going to put dollars to work on the media side, that we just need to hold it accountable, but that it's not a pure kind of DR play, that it has to be something where the brand is also an equal mandate to the response. And so it's a tough tightrope to walk, but we always had that pull of it had to be great for the brand, but it also had to be held accountable to having a good ROI on the media. And so we've approached every channel that we go after with that kind of dual mandate. And it's definitely a fine line to walk, and some channels we will take different approaches on the creative than others, just to make sure that we can continue to scale that. But as a business, we think the brand is something that is long-term super important, creating a ton of value and something that consumers know us for. And at the same time, we have to be fiscally responsible and put our dollars to work in the best way possible. And so we need to know how those dollars are coming back to us.
What role in your success do you think the fact that you just have like one or two products, but mattress is traditionally something where you go to this store, there's this overwhelming amount of choice, you guys just have one or two products, so what takes a lot of the stress out of decision making? So how important do you think that is in your success versus like if you were to start a website and sold many mattresses, and then how do you settle on like the one or two mattresses that are going to be very good for the majority of people?
Yeah, we think it's huge to our success and huge to why Casper kind of hit a nerve the way it did. That paradox of choice when you walk into a mattress store is very much on purpose. It's why consumers feel compelled to go into a mattress store and deal with a commissioned salesperson who then guides you around the process and is able to convince you to spend a lot more money than you have to. And that's very much on purpose and very much part of the mattress retail playbook. For us, we didn't have any legacy products. We didn't have any legacy kind of store floor space to fill. And we just said, can we build one universally product? And we started with a blank piece of paper. And my co-founder, Jeff, is a brilliant industrial designer who came out of IDEO, where he worked for over a decade. And we just said, let's do some user testing. And we had some ideas, we had some theories, but we would build dozens of different prototypes. We would give our friends and family pizza and beer to come try it out and lay on it. And we were really able to find one universally comfortable product that we thought could satisfy almost everyone out there and eliminate the paradox of choice and create a great experience where we're talking about why we designed the product to be universally comfortable and not just create different pricing matrices to drive up retail pricing.
Awesome. That's all the time we have, but catch us after this for more.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Philip.